Now at 6, we're continuing to follow the investigation into the disappearance and killing of 13-year-old Nicole Lovell. We're bringing you team coverage from the latest information in the case to how the community is coping with her loss.
Plus, Roanoke County police are on the scene of a deadly train crash involving a tractor-trailer.
Good evening and thank you for joining us for WSLS 10 at 6. I'm John Carlin.
And I'm Lindsay Ward. The two suspects charged in connection with the killing of 13-year-old Nicole Lovell made their first appearance in court today. Tonight we're hearing from Nicole's father exclusively for the first time since hearing the news of his daughter's death.
18-year-old David Eisenhower, meanwhile, is charged with first-degree murder and abduction in this case. He's received a court-appointed lawyer. Meanwhile, 19-year-old Natalie Keepers on the right hired a lawyer herself. She is charged with improper disposal of a body and accessory after the fact.
WSLS 10's Dawn Jeffries has been following the story very closely and brings us the very latest. So, Dawn, was Nicole's father able to make it to the arraignment today?
Lindsay, that was his intention, but both arraignments started earlier than scheduled, so he actually wasn't able to sit in on the proceedings. But one of his friends told me as they walked in this morning that this is something that you see on the news. They say that what happened to Nicole is something you cannot describe when it hits close to home. And that's really one of the reasons that her father, David Lovell, wanted to come here to the courthouse today. David Lovell tells me that he's doing as good as could be expected in a situation like this. He came here with his wife and that friend I mentioned. You know, no one can imagine how they'd respond if in their shoes, but for David Lovell, he wanted to come to see the two people accused of killing his daughter. He tells me he came because he wanted answers.
These two individuals took my daughter from this planet, and I want to know why. I want all the information I can get.
The next court appearance for David Eisenhower and Natalie Keepers is March 28th here in the Montgomery County Courthouse. That is when their preliminary hearing will be held, and that's the place that will hear some of the details and what brought police to bringing these two in as suspects. Live in Christiansburg, Dawn Jeffries, WSLS 10.
Another angle on the story, the search for evidence in the police investigation of Nicole's killing continues today. State police dive teams searched a lake on Virginia Tech's campus for the second day in a row, while a criminal investigations unit is stationed in the Jefferson National Forest using surveying tools to collect evidence as well. And the police activity, along with the fallout following the news of Nicole's death, has the Blacksburg community heartbroken tonight. And WSLS 10's Rob Manch spoke to people there who knew Lovell. So, Rob, how are people who were close to her even pretending to deal with this tragedy?
Well, John, we're here on Virginia Tech's campus tonight, where police have spent the majority of today searching this pond you can see here behind me for clues in this case. But all this investigative activity is a constant reminder to passersby here in Blacksburg of this crime that has torn the community apart. Now, I stopped by Auburn Baptist Church in Reiner today, where Lovell has been a member for the past 5 years. Lovell's youth pastor there, Josh Blankenship, says she rode the bus to be at Sunday school there every weekend. Many people there just learned yesterday of Lovell's death, and he says the reaction has been unanimous.
Shock, disbelief, and uncomfortable right now. I mean, this is home for not only this church, but for a lot of people around here, and nobody wants to see stuff like this anywhere. And so a lot of hearts that are broken.
Meanwhile, police are continuing this investigation, and the facts continue to multiply. In addition to the pond here, state police investigated a site in the Jefferson National Forest today off of Craig Creek Road they referred to as a crime scene. Now, aside from Lovell's church, I also stopped by Blacksburg Middle School, where guidance counselors there held extended hours today to make sure kids and students and even teachers had someone to talk to and cope with this tragedy. In Blacksburg, Rob Manch, WSLS 10.
All right, thank you, Rob. Now, since Nicole Lovell was first reported missing, there have been a number of developments.
Yeah, so we want to give you a recap of information since her disappearance. First, Nicole was last seen at her home in the Lantern Ridge area of Blacksburg. That was last Wednesday.
Virginia State Police issued an endangered child alert. Law enforcement, the FBI, and members of the Virginia Tech cadets looked for her on land and by air for 4 days. On Saturday, Blacksburg police charged 18-year-old Virginia Tech freshman David Eisenhower with the abduction and disappearance of Nicole.
At 4 p.m. Saturday, state police found Nicole's remains on Route 89 in Surry County, North Carolina. That's just over the state line.
On Sunday, Blacksburg police made a second arrest. 19-year-old Natalie Keepers is charged with improper disposal of a dead body and accessory after the fact.
Now both Eisenhower and Keepers are being held without bond.
This, of course, is a developing story we'll continue to follow throughout the evening and online.
And, of course, when we're not on the air, you can always go to WSLS.com to find today's coverage, along with the very latest information in the case.
And be sure to join us for WSLS 10 at 7 and 11 for any new details.
Other news tonight developing right now. Roanoke County Police trying to figure out what led to a deadly train crash involving a tractor trailer.
It happened just before noon today. WSLS 10's Bree Jackson is live at the scene. So, Bree, what can you tell us?
Well, Lindsay, we're starting to see a lot of crews leave the area. In fact, this is the last of the cleanup crews that we're seeing here. Fire and rescue crews have been out on the scene throughout the days from when they first heard this happen around noon earlier today. Now, this is happening around the Spring Hollow Reserve area. That's what I've been told. Neighbors say that trains come through this area daily. They say they've never really seen an accident happen here. Now, Roanoke County Police, Norfolk Southern Police, and other agencies are trying to figure out exactly what went wrong. So far, we do not have any word of the identity of the people involved, but AEP has confirmed to me that the accident involved 2 of their employees. I'm told that one was killed. The other remains in the hospital as of last check. Now, I'm told the people that were killed, that they're still waiting, or the person that was killed, they're still waiting to reach out to the next of kin. That person may be out of state. Officials tell me that's the delay in the identification here. But here's what rescue crews said about the patient's condition earlier today.
We did transport 1 stable patient. It's about as bad as you can get. It was multiple systems, multiple body systems that were involved in the trauma.
And once again, this is an ongoing investigation. Crews are still trying to figure out exactly what went wrong, and they plan to release more details later tonight. In Roanoke, Bree Jackson, WSLS 10.
Thank you, Bree. Jury selection began today for alleged gang members in the murder trial of Waynesboro Reserve Police Captain Kevin Quick. The trial is held in Roanoke after a judge declared a mistrial when investigators discovered one of the defendants got a hold of a list of potential jurors and shared it. WSLS 10's Ananda Rachita joins us now live in the studio. So, Ananda, how is the jury selection different this time?
Well, all potential jurors are anonymous and referred to a number based on questionnaires they answered. 483 questionnaires were sent out, and 87 people were chosen today for phase 1 of jury selection. All 6 suspects are charged on a total of 34 violations and believed to be associated with a gang that's a faction of the Bloods. 4 suspects are charged with the murder of Waynesboro Reserve Police Captain Kevin Quick, while the other 2 are accused of being the gang's ringleaders in a racketeering conspiracy. Some of the alleged crimes include assault, burglary, armed robbery, kidnapping, and murder. One of the defendant's lawyers talked to us this evening.
It moved along reasonably well, and there were no obstacles. So based on what happened today, I would expect the case to remain on schedule.
Now, cameras are not allowed in federal court, so I want to describe you what I saw in the courtroom. All 6 defendants had their handcuffs taken off and were able to take notes with a pen. They were also wearing regular semi-business casual clothes, and both of them seemed to be smiling and laughing at one another. Tomorrow, there will be a second phase of jury selection, and opening statements are likely to happen tomorrow afternoon or Wednesday morning. In the studio, Ananda Rachita, WSLS 10.
All right, thank you, Nanda. Meanwhile, Roanoke City Police Chief Chris Perkins gives his final annual crime report before he retires later this year. Police reports the force responded to more shootings in 2015 than they normally would, but overall crime is down in the Star City from the year before. WSLS 10's Christina Craig breaks down the numbers for us.
The Roanoke Roanoke City Police Chief is calling it a win for the city, as overall crime is trending downwards. Since 2014, property crimes have decreased by almost 400 cases. However, violent crimes including murder, rape, and robbery have remained the same.
Property crime is our problem. Property crime is driven by some of the drug activity. Let's talk about violence. You want to talk about danger? Well, I showed you. Roanoke, per 1,000, has a better violent crime rate than a lot of cities in our area, in our state, in our region.
Although some violent crime numbers didn't change, the number of malicious shootings, which fall underneath the umbrella of violent crimes, have increased. In 2014, police investigated 34 shootings. One was deadly. This past year, there were 37 shootings. 8 people were killed in those. Despite those numbers, Chief Perkins says it's still a record low.
When you start looking at the factors that go into it, even though it's level, it's still at record lows. It's still 48-year low. You got to go back to 1967 to find a lower number of victims for a violent crime in the city of Roanoke.
Chief Perkins says it's all about change and positive policing. Technology ranging from license plate readers, body cameras, use of data analysis, and de-escalation training all play a factor and have helped decrease the total crime since 2013 by 17.9%. Perkins adds we can only be better if the entire city is on board for change. In Roanoke, Christina Craig, WSLS 10.
Still to come on WSLS 10 at 6, a local police chief is preparing to say goodbye to his facial hair for a good cause. The department's effort to raise thousands for cancer research. One Roanoke City police officer is changing his look for a good cause. It all started with a bet when a fellow officer asked what it would take for Lieutenant Jennings Tardy to get rid of his mustache. Well, Lieutenant Tardy has had a mustache for 36 years. In fact, his wife and children have never seen him without it before. Tardy says if the police department can internally raise $2,000 for the American Cancer Society, his stash will be met with a razor blade.
I would imagine that the skin underneath probably be a little bit pale since it hasn't been exposed to direct sunlight, in 3.5 decades. I don't know. It's going to be different.
Tardy says he lost his father and grandfather to cancer and thought it would be a fun way to honor their memory. So hopefully they can get that $2,000. Jeff?
That would be awesome if they did. Rain showers around for at least some of us. We'll let you know when these rain showers skedaddle, only to have more rain move in. Your Storm Team 10 forecast is 3 minutes away.
Now, the area's best weathercast as awarded by the Associated Press.
You're looking at a live picture from our airport sky cam. Do you see what I see out to the west? Yes, indeed, some breaks in the clouds. It is not on the realm of possibility for a few of us, and keyword there is few. 2, see a little bit of sun before the sun goes down. But overall, it's still pretty cloudy out there. We still have some rain around. Rain falling at its heaviest along and east of the parkway at this point. Heaviest rain actually in and around Lynchburg. Areas of Campbell County, areas near Alta Vista, Highway 24, areas right along it looks like Highway 29, Highway 501, dealing with some pretty heavy rain. Areas just north of Brookneal, areas near Seneca, for example, dealing with some pretty heavy rain, as are folks in and around Pamplin City. Now, hour by hour tonight, you'll notice temperatures in the upper 40s by midnight. Your overnight low in the lower 40s, so temperatures cool tonight, but not abnormally cold by any means. Best chance for rain will be between now and around the mid-evening hours. After that, we'll dry things out a wee bit. So here's the setup for us on Tuesday. We're going to have high pressure to the north, and with that area of high pressure to the north, we're going to have that easterly component of the wind holding temperatures down. The wedge is here tomorrow. That means for us cloudy with areas of drizzle, then heavy rain possible as we have a very strong frontal boundary move overhead Wednesday. I think it will start in the mountains Wednesday morning, then move through the Piedmont as we head into Wednesday afternoon, and that will dump anywhere between 1 to 1.5 inches of rain. But look at that high on Wednesday, pretty warm in the lower 60s. As we take you hour by hour tonight, again, a little bit of drizzle possible even after this main rain event gets out of here. Tuesday, 7 a.m., a little bit of drizzle around. Same thing Tuesday at around 5 o'clock. I don't think we see much sunshine at all tomorrow. I think tomorrow's actually pretty overcast. Then as we head into Tuesday night, we actually start to see more in the way of some showers, good old-fashioned showers moving back into the picture. This is 7 a.m. Wednesday, scattered showers around, and then by around lunchtime on Wednesday, we're going to have, I think, a very strong line of showers, maybe even a few thunderstorms rolling through by around 12:45 from Rockbridge County through the Roanoke Valley south into Carroll County. That's where we're going to have some pretty heavy rain. And it looks like most of that heavy rain will skedaddle by around 5 o'clock Wednesday afternoon. Now for the day tomorrow, we do have an enhanced chance for some severe weather, maybe even a tornado out across parts of Kentucky, Tennessee, Alabama, and Mississippi. Now by the time that disturbance gets to us, it should weaken, but it'll hold together enough to certainly bring us a chance for a few thunderstorms and heavy rain. 49 Lexington, also Blacksburg, 53 right now in Wytheville. For tonight, we are looking at the showers ending, fog is possible, 30s and 40s. For the day tomorrow, we're looking at those high temperatures in the 40s and 50s, cloudy, damp with some patchy drizzle. 3-degree guarantee high for the day on Tuesday, 48. Your extended forecast, lower 60s Wednesday, then we're in the 40s and 50s Thursday through Monday. Thursday through Monday, we're dry under partly to mostly sunny skies, with the coldest day being 1 week from today. John.
Thank you very much, Jeff. History is made in the college basketball poll, and with signing day approaching, we break down the Hokies' projected haul. Sports is next.
Now, WSLS 10 Sports from the Ford Sports Desk.
For the first time in more than 8 years, Duke is not in the AP Top 25 poll. You have to go back to the 07-08 preseason poll to find a poll that Duke has not been ranked in. They are 15-6. They've lost 4 of their last 5, including home games with Notre Dame and Syracuse. So the run of 167 consecutive poll appearances is over. UCLA had a run of 221 in a row from 66 to 1980. Here's your top 10. It is an interesting mix, if I must say so myself. Oklahoma begins its 3rd week at number 1. Carolina, as you can see, is lurking. Virginia up to 9 after dispatching Louisville in fine fashion this weekend. National Signing Day looming large on Wednesday, so we bring you the first in a 2-part look at Virginia Tech's upcoming recruiting class. Alyssa Ray has the detail.
I'm Alyssa Ray here in Blacksburg with Jason Stamm of HokieHaven.com and Rivals.com, our Virginia Tech recruiting expert. With signing day on Wednesday, we want to talk about any new recruits coming to Virginia Tech and a lot of action here over the weekend.
Yeah, I mean, they had a lot of guys visit, over 12 that kind of got pushed back from the week before. It's a couple 4-star guys, a lot of guys who are committed elsewhere looking at Virginia Tech. So they've got a chance to flip a few guys who are committed to other schools currently.
Do you think this visit flipped anyone? Anyone in particular that they're really wanting, that they think they have in the bag at this point?
I don't know if they've got anybody in the bag, but I really like Tamon Fox, a guy from Collins Hill, 4-star defensive end, currently committed to North Carolina. Teammates with Emmanuel Belmar, who's already committed to Virginia Tech, committed last summer. So a couple of teammates they could get to be playing here alongside each other here in the next couple of years.
All right, one of the commitments we want to talk about is Gerard Evans out of Texas. He's a junior quarterback. A lot of talk about him. You guys have him as a 4-star. What do you think about him?
I love Gerard Evans. I really think he's the highest rated junior college quarterback coming out of the 2016 class. I think he's every bit of that. This is a guy who has a big time arm, who can also make plays with his feet, who's really can turn nothing into something a lot of times. Just very smart, very quick on his feet, and I think probably is going to have a leg up on being that starting quarterback come this fall.
All right, let's talk about some of the receivers here. It looks like Fuente's been really heavily pushing for wide receivers. How's he done so far?
But they've got a chance to flip a 4-star guy who's currently committed to Florida, Rick Wells from Raines High School down in Jacksonville. If all goes well, he would be a big-time flip along with Tamon Fox, who we mentioned earlier.
Jason Stamm again, HokieHaven.com, Rivals.com, talking about Hokies offensive recruiting. We'll be back tomorrow with the defense. In Blacksburg, Alyssa Ray, WSLS 10 Sports.
All right, NBC getting 5 NFL games on Thursday nights coming up. The Broncos in a minor bus crash. They're okay. And the Raiders reportedly visiting Las Vegas. 3 little words, 1 big highlight, cut it out. Look at this wipeout. How scary is this? And wow. Ba-boom. Tom Dosland is okay. He's okay with surfing the next day.
Good deal. Nightly news coming up.
We'll see you at 7. Thanks.